What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this The Gifted video review and breakdown of episode 1. So if you're new to the channel, a like and a subscribe is super appreciated. At the end of this, if you did enjoy the video, please do drop a like if you did enjoy it. So this is The Gifted. This is the next in not only the Marvel TV shows, but the next in the upcoming, seemingly expansive X-Men universe. So the X-Men universe, the films are now, well, not over. We're getting more coming up. We're getting more sequels. We have got the end of the Logan storyline, and now we have got Legion. We have got the Gifted, and upcoming we've got Lock and Key. We have the Runaways, and it seems like Marvel really are doubling down on their TV shows, which I'm kind of surprised about. I know this is a Fox production, but it is really a Marvel TV show. I think it is a co-production. It seems like Fox and Marvel are starting to sort of work together, because Ego the Living Planet was technically a Fantastic Four character in that property, and we got him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and it seems like it's going a bit back and forth here with the rights, and hopefully we end up with possibly a mutant or something like that, or the X-Men inside the MCU, which I would really love to see. But really, that is a humongous, real long way off. And personally, The Gifted, I was hoping that it would be an adaptation of Joss Whedon's X-Men, his Gifted storyline, which is absolutely stunning. And even though that this TV show doesn't really have anything to do whatsoever, apart from using the name The Gifted, well, I highly recommend you go and checking out The Gifted. Joss Whedon is a fantastic writer on TV and film, and of course as well in a comic book form. So if you're a fan of the X-Men and you haven't picked that up, you can pick that up using the links below. Full disclosure, they are affiliate links as well. But moving on from that, The Gifted. So, are the X-Men in it, and when is this movie or the TV show set? We have a very vague reference to the X-Men, and it seems like there has been a big event that has happened, and it has caused all of the X-Men to disappear, and also the Brotherhood of Mutants as well. So we've got the good guys and the bad guys. They have both disappeared due to some sort of nondescript event. There was also an event in Oakland, so it's kind of surprising where this timeline is set. And throughout the timeline, it is a bit of a problem, because obviously Logan was set way after everything that happened in the original movies. We had Legion as well, which is set in some sort of 60s, 70s, whatever kind of world, and really technically isn't sort of linked to anything else, which is a real shame. And maybe the fact that they've learned from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being connected to really everything in the MCU is a bit of a problem, and they did better with Daredevil, where it wasn't really, they mentioned the incident and that was it. And really Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fell down because a lot of people wanted it to be connected, but really it wasn't. So here, The Gifted, it is technically connected to the X-Men, because they mentioned that the X-Men have disappeared. The X-Men disappeared as well in Logan. So that's part of me. I was kind of thinking that this is giving me a lot of Logan vibes, and it does seem to kind of signify the end of times which Logan was set in. So this does feel very much in some ways a spiritual prequel to Logan, and possibly a spiritual sequel to the X-Men movies that we've had so far, albeit that is really where the connection ends, and it doesn't really give us a date, an exact time when this show is set. The connections to all of these, the connections to X-Men, the timeline, even having possibly Professor Xavier pop up, it doesn't matter, because the show in itself is fantastic. And I really did love every single minute of it. And really, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting myself to really like it, because I really wanted a more of a connected X-Men universe. That was what I was expecting with Legion. I watched that, and then I didn't get what I wanted, but I found myself watching a very fantastic show, which is what I found here with The Gifted. It is a great scripted family drama. You haven't got like cringy kids. The teenagers are pretty, the actors, the young actors in the show are very, very good. And one thing which I find a bit disappointing is the fact that obviously there will be spoilers for the episode in this review, but the problem is we get a mutant task force member quite high up in the mutant task force. We got Stephen Moyer, who was in True Blood, and he was fantastic in that. I haven't actually seen him in anything else other than True Blood, and really he was great in that, but really I kind of went off the show halfway through its life. But here he is fantastic in that role, but one of his own daughters is actually a mutant, and you'd think that someone who is so high up in a mutant task force, possibly he would have been tested for the mutant gene. Maybe he's never really sure. Maybe they were. Maybe he was tested, but the way it works is that it was latent and you can't see it until it's really activated. I don't know. I just think it's really silly that someone like this is so convenient that someone who is putting away mutants ends up having mutant children. But I kind of think that if your daughter started to become a mutant, you would kind of recognise the fact that she was, or maybe he was playing a blind eye to it. As one of the characters in this show said, when he starts to go on the run, well, it's different when it comes to your own kids. And what I like about this is that we have a mutant underground who are they've been sprung up after everything that happened, which we don't actually know what happened. I think that over the course of the show, we may learn more about what happened in the TV show and in the past. And I hopefully will see some sort of reference to any sort of X-Men or named by person, which we never really got in the Legion show. We never got the school mentioned. Maybe it was a bit too before that or a bit after that in the timeline. But here we've got the underground mutants. We've got the very, very C-list versions of the X-Men here. We've got Polaris and a few others, and a couple that are actually made up just for the show. The Strucker family really are made up for their own show, which I have to say, Baron von Strucker, yeah, a bit kind of weird there. And I'd love to know if they were actually related or ancestors of that guy. But the Mutant Underground look very interesting. The powers on this look really real. They look cool. Whereas Legion, they looked very kind of big in scope. These ones literally are literal kind of destroying things or opening up of portals. And I have to say that this episode really was fantastic. The writing and the acting was stunning, and the quality of this is a world away from Inhumans, which was stunningly terrible. Apart from Ewan Rivford, the guy who was Ramsay Snow, he was fantastic. That was about it. Maybe Karnak as well. I thought he was pretty good, even though the Inhumans, I really hate the Inhumans characters as a whole and franchise as a whole. But the X-Men here, this show is just great and really is worth a watch if you haven't actually seen it. And it really is one to watch. Even though I'm going to continue on hate watching Inhumans, I'm excited to see where they go with Runaways, which is a property which I never really liked the comic. I didn't like the art. It really did. The whole thing felt like a really kind of average webcomic, which I'm sure is going to upset quite a few of you who are possibly watching this, and I'm sorry about that. Well, no, I'm not, because that's the truth in my eyes. But this show, Gifted, is going to be cool. I think. I hope. I don't know. But I do think that it has a lot of potential. And if they continue on with the very, very slight references to X-Men and carry on in this world where the X-Men are a distant myth and people aren't really sure if they ever really actually existed, well, I think this show can be and do very well. I think that if Fox continue on this, if they do decide to link it up with Legion, if they have references to Legion later on, I think that would be a good idea. And what I really like about this is the fact they have the Sentinel services, which seems like we're leading up to a world where Days of Future Past possibly happened, and the federal government are sending the Sentinels, which are human kind of a bureau to send after them, after these mutants, which I think is pretty darn cool. The fact that they have made the Sentinels humans there in the show. So a really, really great watch, a really, really enjoyable watch as well. And I'm excited to see where this goes as the family are split, which I think might be a problem later down the line, which is what Fear the Walking Dead has every single week, where the main cast are completely split, and The Walking Dead do that as well. So hopefully it's going to carry on being just as good as this premiere was. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like. Please subscribe. Check out my Justice League video. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.